بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Today I have another reaction video. In today's video, I am going to be reacting to a sister, and the video says, How an Islamic book saved me from darkness. And on the screen it says, How a book, I think that's Islamic book, changed her life from drinking women to a Muslim. Watch the full video and share it with others. Okay, brothers and sisters, if you are willing to be a Muslim, Islam is all about self-discipline. You discipline yourself, stop from drinking and partying and going to dancing and all that stuff. You stay away from all that stuff and you stay safe. Because the more you stay from intoxication is the more you stay safe. To me, that's what I'm saying. So, okay, brothers and sisters, let's get to this video and see the full story. Let's get to it.
Assalamu alaikum, guys. So I'm a revert. 18, the age of 18, I used to go out, do the things that 18-year-old, girls do. I used to go out, clubbing, drinking. And I was at college at that age. Majority of my friends were Muslim. So I think that had a big influence on, me being brought to Islam. So yeah, my friends at college were Muslim. One of them was a revert, and the other one was born Muslim. And I'd be the one that wasn't dressed modestly, wasn't one of them wore a headscarf, one didn't. So yeah, and I always remember that when Ramadan used to come round and they'd be fasting, and I'd just be like, how are they doing this? Like, how are they starving? Because that's what people non-Muslims think, they're starving themselves for somebody, for something, for some greater good. They're actually doing that, and it's really bizarre to non-Muslims. You can't get your head around it. So anyway. Yeah, and I remember one year my Muslim friend, her family invited me over to break their fast with them, even though I wasn't fasting, just to show me what it was like. And so I went. I wasn't going to be rude. I went, open mind, because I was never closed-minded about that kind of stuff. But I was just a normal, I was christened, but I was never really brought up in a religious family, kind of, as to say. So I went, and yeah, it was bizarre. It was really nice. They had so much food, and and I can remember sitting there thinking wow, they're actually doing this, and they were so happy and so content, and they'd pray their salah, praying, they'd pray, and and I was just wow, they truly strongly believe that there's some kind of there's a God, there's something there that they're gonna not eat, and I didn't understand. And it was only when my friend actually said, she told me, she educated me on how how it wasn't just that they starved themselves, it was for self-control,
Yeah, that's right.
It was to feel how the poor feel, and all these different things. So, and I can remember sitting there, and I can remember being a little bit taken back by how everything, I was just really, really taken back. So yeah, I left my friends, and that was that. I never really thought about it again. Never, it just went to the back of my mind, and that was that. And then I went to uni after I finished college. I went to uni, again, never really, I didn't have any Muslim friends at that time. Oh no, sorry, I had one, and she was a revert, and other than that, like, I didn't have any other influence of Islam in my life, or, you know, and I was just a normal, like, English girl who went to, you know, uni, did the things you do at uni, and, you know, worked, went out with my friends, did all these things, you know. So I didn't really think much into Islam, and then I'd finished uni, and I was working while I was at uni, and then after I carried on working, and there was just something. I met somebody, they were in the street, and they were doing them, you know, when they're handing leaflets at Dawah, they're handing leaflets out in the street about Islam, and he said to me that, oh, sister, like, are you Muslim? And I remember thinking, no, no, I'm not Muslim. And he was like, oh, you know, may God be with you, and I can remember just thinking, like, and he was talking to me in such a nice manner, considering that I wasn't Muslim.
True, yeah.
And non-Muslims have this perception on Muslims where, like, they try to avoid to speak to them because they don't know how to act, they don't know what to say, and it's the same for, you know, not Muslims who talk to non-Muslims. Like, they try to, you know, because they don't really know how to act. So, and I can remember thinking to myself, and I thought it for quite a few days after, and like I used to think to myself, like, wow, you know, it really, I don't know, it just really thinking me what he said to me and how kind, and, you know, he gave me this booklet, and I remember, and it was just a little paper booklet, and I still have it. And he gave it to me, and I remember sitting in my bedroom at night, like, once everybody had gone to sleep, like, reading this booklet, and I didn't really understand a lot of it, because it was like, you know, it'd have a quote from the Quran, and then it'd say, like, it'd have some numbers next to it, and I can remember, like, I don't understand what this means, and I just had this, like, feeling where I was like, there's something here, there's something about this that I want to learn more. So I started to read more and more about it, and I kept getting really frustrated because the literature that I was getting, the books that I was getting, were just they were too complicated. I was just like, I don't understand, like, I don't understand them at all. They were too complicated. So I looked on eBay and found a book called Islam, Beliefs and Teachings. It's a really old book, but it was my life. Let me tell you, it was my life. Like, it went from, oh, it was amazing. It went from literally the beginning. It goes through your five pillars of Islam. It literally goes through everything. It was amazing. I can't, like, get out how good the book was. And at each end of each section, it had, like, questions for different ages, like, you know, to describe what this meant in the last section, and how do you feel about this, and you had to write down, you know. And it really helped me, really helped me, because I think it was from a book from, like, ages, you know, probably 10 up to the ages of 21, for, like, a study book. It was really good. So I would definitely advise, not a promo, but I would definitely advise to buy the book if you are looking into Islam, or you are, you know, a revert, and you're still trying to find that kind of, you know, you're still trying to find that literature that you understand. So yeah, so once I'd found this book, I was like, wow, this brought a whole new meaning. I was just like, I felt happy. I was like, you know, this is it. Like, once I'd read the book, I was like, this is it. I want to convert. I want to revert, you know, I just want to do it. But I'm a very logical person. I think that's the word, logical. Yeah, logical person. And I needed to find out, like, so much. I needed to know certain things, because there were certain things I didn't understand, and I was like, as much as I want to do it, like, I was scared of how people would react, you know, how my friends would react, you know, family and myself. That was the main thing. I think I was I was really scared because it's such a big change, such a big change. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready for the whole, you know, wanting to wear a headscarf, wanting to, you know, stop all these things that you have to stop eating bacon, stop drinking, stop smoking. All of these things cross people's minds. As being a revert, they cross your mind. So I wasn't sure. So I was like, okay, so we'll find out a bit more information. And that's what I did. I kept reading more books, you know, kept reading different things on the internet. And I think it's good to get. I got a lot of children's books. As stupid as that sounds, like it helped so much. I got like kids books, you know, like dua kids books, like learning to pray. That was another thing. I really struggled. I couldn't get my head around it. I watched a YouTube clip whilst I was learning to pray. I watched a YouTube clip. It was, you know, it really helped, because I think once you watch things so many times, you kind of get, you end up just like remembering. You end up just like remembering what you've done, and before you know it, it's you know. So yes, I found it really hard, but you know, I got there, alhamdulillah, I got there. And I think it's just the fact that you feel so scared of everybody's reactions, of how people, you know, all your friends are going to be, because obviously you've gone from this one person and you're going to be, you know, you're not going to be a completely different person, but you may change how you dress, you know, you may stop drinking, you may stop smoking. So all of these things take, you know, they do take time. So after that, after I'd, you know, read all these books and I was like, yeah, I want to convert, I want to revert, I want to do it. I reverted, alhamdulillah, and I was so happy. Like, you go on some kind of religious high and you're like, yes. Oh, you know, you're just in this bubble. You're just in this bubble where nothing no one says affects you, and you're just like, you're so happy. And I had one Muslim friend, and she moved away, so I was kind of like on my own. So I started looking for classes, you know, Islamic classes. And so I actually Googled it. I was like, I Googled, you know, Islamic classes from my area. And one came up and I was like, oh, okay, clicked on it. And it come up with this poster, stepping stones, you know, friendly environment, all reverts, all like the different things that they do in the class. So I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I was so on it. I was like, yes. Text the sister. And this was about mid-December. So I was like, I can't really do, because I was like, I couldn't really, because being a revert, obviously, your family are still, they're still Christian or whatever faith you're from beforehand. They're still, you know, they aren't the ones that have changed. You are. So it was mid-December. I still had like Christmas shopping to do and, you know, whatever. So I was like, I'm not going to be able to make it for the next couple of weeks, but, you know, I will come in the new year. So, you know, I went about my business. I did I carried on doing what I was doing. And I was still trying to pray and still reading my books. And then New Year came. I went to, I texted sister saying I'm gonna come to class, and, you know, so I arranged to go. And I went, I was so nervous, like, I sat outside in my car for like 10-15 minutes. I was late. I'm always late. I sat outside in my car for like 10-15 minutes, like hyperventilating because I was that nervous. I went in. I even remember what I was wearing. I was wearing a jumper some jeans that were like ripped, and like a loose like scarf. And I went in and there was like loads of sisters in there, and I was like, oh gosh. So I went in and they were like, oh, assalamu alaikum, and I was like, oh, I was so scared. I was so scared. And I went in and they did the whole ice breaking thing, and when did you revert, and then everyone else goes around and tells you how you did, how they did, sorry. So yeah, I was so happy that by the end of the class I was ecstatic. I can't even explain it. I'd found people that were on the same wavelength as me, who'd reverted, I'd met people whose family weren't happy, who'd come to Islam through their partners, come through Islam in the most, strangest of ways, Allah knows best, but it was just amazing. I was so happy.
Yes,
And so yeah, I found these classes, and even to this day, like, I'm still, like 2 years, I think, I can't remember, like 2 years I've been going to these classes, and they're my lifeline. Like, they are, you can have the really bad week, and then you go on a Saturday and you come out and you're just like, alhamdulillah, like, it's such an amazing feeling. And I will leave the link for where I go. It's called a Sufi Institution. I will leave the link below. I would definitely advise any sisters who, even the classes aren't just for reverts. If you want to come, if you want to go and you've not reverted yet, you just want to look into Islam and want to see about it, then just come along. It's completely fine. Nobody judges you. It's such a nice environment. So it's based in Birmingham. So I will leave the details below. I advise that any new revert or anyone looking into Islam, like, find a group near you. If you need any help, then message me, let me know, that's fine, and I'll try and help as much as I can. But it helps you so much. I genuinely believe if I didn't start these classes, like, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I totally grew as a person. Totally grew as a person. My knowledge increased, and I think when your knowledge increases, you feel better about yourself. It's just an amazing, wonderful feeling. You can't beat it at all. You can't beat it. So I feel like, a lot of people won't understand. As a revert, you go through so many emotions because you're worried about your family, you're worried about your friends, even the littlest. I used to get so stressed out. Like, if I saw somebody walking towards me, even when I used to go to my classes at the weekend, and I'd wear a headscarf, and then I'd go into like onto like Coventry Road or somewhere, and I saw a Muslim walking towards me, and I thought they were going to speak to me and give me salam. Like, I would get so worked up because I'd be like, I don't know if I'm saying it right, I don't know. And people used to say, oh, mashallah, and alhamdulillah, and subhanallah. And I used to be like, what? Like, I don't even understand what that means. Like, it's even the little things like that. You just, as a revert, when you're a revert, you are coming to a new life. Like, it's like learning again from being a child. Born Muslims won't ever see that kind of outlook on Islam because they're brought up with that being their religion, and they've always had that kind of upbringing. Whereas when you're a revert, you don't. It's something completely different. You're coming away from one life and moving into a completely new, what can seem really daunting life. So yeah, but alhamdulillah, I wouldn't change it for the world. And I just hope that every new revert can kind of.
Yeah, brothers and sisters, the video was longer than I expected. I kind of feeling some form of flu and also getting maybe some fever. And since I was in challenge, I have to do this video. That's what I was doing, kind of feeling warm in the room. All kind of. And I expected the video was longer than expected, but I'm not sure. It was about 18 minutes video, something like that. I thought the video was 14 minutes. I hope you learned something about this video, and I will see you in the next video. Please subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and let me know what you think. If you have any questions, ask, and please don't rude comments. We respect everyone, and we expect everyone the same in return. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.